Hey, beautiful people, welcome back. Due process of law. So we gave an example in the past of what due process of law looks like in a functional aspect of the dynamics of working things out when it comes to pen and paper and you handling your affairs. And more importantly, the explanation of it and how it is directly incorporated into the parliamentary rules, civil procedures, and the rules of evidence. For a lot of people who are looking into equity, I've always said if you don't comprehend at law, or if you don't comprehend this thing called the Constitution, you're not going anywhere into equity. Because at law is the roadmap to equity. This thing called due process of law is a phrase that has three very important terms in it: due, process, and law. A lot of people know of process this, process that, process. They know of all these different processes, even though most of it are founded upon speculations. But nonetheless, people know of a million processes one way or another. Due process of law. Three very important words. Process is the operation of law, aka legal things. Process is the workings and the dynamics of things, which is legal. Due, meaning what is due to you, what is supposed to happen, naturally speaking. Equity and natural law is the same thing. And this word due is letting you know that what ought to exist ought to be given to you within any process of any specific type of law. There are different types of laws that affirms different types of rights that will give rise to different right of actions. And they're telling you that whatever process that you're doing within a specific type of law, remember, we're speaking about due process of law. And this word is telling you whatever process, whatever legal operation, doctrine, standard that you're enforcing within any specific type of law, you ought to get what is due to you. There's a maxim of equity that says equity regards as done what ought to be done. If you were to put that maxim of equity regards as done what ought to be done, into just one word, it would be due. D-U-E. Just one word is equivalent to a whole legal maxims of equity. Equity regards as done what ought to be done. That is literally what this word due means. They're telling you that a certain right is due to you within any process of any type of law. This word due process of law is an equitable term. This word, this phrase, due process of law, is an equitable term. You say you want to go into equity, right? If you don't comprehend the Constitution, if you don't comprehend the verbiage and what they mean, you will never be able to work the dynamics of what equity is about. Because everything you need in equity, believe it or not, you already know about it. So take your time to slow down, because all the tools and all the answers you need is already right in front of you. In summary, this term due process of law constitutes three separate terms. The first term within due process of law, being due, is literally an equitable term that says what ought to be done. Process refers to any standard, any element, any test, any doctrine, any dynamics of what you're working with as attached to the specific type of law that you're enforcing, that you intend to use as a foundation to give rise to a certain right. Whatever it is that you are doing, what ought to be done shall be considered done. That is what due process of law is. Due process of law is an equitable phrase, and it is sitting right there in the Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution and within your respective state constitution. At Illinois, it's in Article 2, subsection 2. No person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. In other words, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without equity. Stop for a moment and think about that. Don't just jump the hype train of people speaking of equity, having you read some Black's Law Dictionary term. No. Stop that. And if you're going to read that Black's Law Dictionary term, look into the case laws. Even better and much simpler and more straightforward, read the verbiage of your state and federal constitution. Equity is riddled all throughout the state and federal constitution, if you know what you are looking at. Take care and best of luck. Hey, and also don't forget to join my Patreon if you haven't. There I go through documents that I have used personally successfully and videos that I do not post here on YouTube that are in many ways private in nature. And also I go through live audio interactions and video interaction of my own experience with certain things. And I also have a website where you can go through a list of documents or services if you need them. And these videos that are posted on YouTube are also uploaded on Anchor. You can listen to it via audio means. And there's an Instagram page and a Facebook page. The link is on the screen and in the description. Take care and best of luck.